I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Sometimes this life can be there's so many ups and downs in this life. And sometimes we get caught in the monotony. We get caught up in our feelings and we get caught up in our emotions, and that's valid. Because I'm right along with you. I'm right along with you in that front. I completely understand how it may feel to deal with these temptations, deal with the ups and downs and deal with these situations and not know how to deal with them. We deal with them, but we don't know how to truly deal with them. And it gets very, very difficult. It gets very, very hard, especially when it seems like everything is against you. Especially when it seems like everybody around you is against you. When it seems like people in your circle are far away from you. When it may seem like even in your own personal space that you don't know where your heart is set at. Your heart and your mind are in different places. It's like your heart is telling you how to deal with it, and your heart is telling you certain things, but your mind doesn't want to even think about it. Your mind is just full of struggle. Your mind is full of emotional pain and uncertainty and worriness and, just a bunch of different emotions, and you don't know how to handle it. And I know exactly how you feel. On this channel I talk about God a lot, and I'll tell y'all, and I'm not even going to open the Bible, right? But from a personal perspective, I've dealt with a lot of uncertainty, and I have an issue with uncertainty, and I worry a lot about uncertainty, and about the future and what everything. Even we worry about the present. I worry about the present all the time. And one of the things that I always question is, I don't necessarily question God, but I question what direction I really want to head in, right? Whether that's career-wise, job-wise, just making simple decisions, relationships, just a bunch of different stuff. And I struggle with the uncertainty of what's to come, what's next, what is next, right? I'm sure y'all have been there, because you're always looking at what's next instead of living in the moment, right? I'm just like you. I'm just like you, and it's really, really rough, and it gets difficult to think about how you don't have full control over your circumstances. But one thing I have learned over my Christian walk, and I know this, is that God has worked everything out at the right time. And I'm not going to speak one of these little cliche messages to you all. I'm not going to speak just, I'm going to speak and I'm going to tell you all how I feel. Because I feel like on this channel, I can keep it real with you all. So, yeah, y'all, it's one of the hardest things for me is to adapt, right? To adapt my mindset to not necessarily feeling powerless, but knowing that I don't have control of the cards that I put down. I don't have control over certain things in my life, certain aspects of my life. But one thing I have learned, and it's a previous sermon I heard my minister preach, and he talked about laying and giving your hands to God, right? You hear those people say keep stacking days, right? 1% better, keep going. Sometimes every single day is a challenge, but some days are a lot better than others. I'll tell you that. But every other day, sometimes it's a struggle, right? For me specifically, one day, I'll be good. Next day, I'll be like, dang, bro, like, where am I really headed? What am I really trying to do? What does God really want me to do? I feel like I'm not doing everything I should be doing. But then the next day I'll be like, man, I'll be productive. I'll be doing this and that. I'll be feeling good. I'll get a lot of stuff done. And I feel like my day has been full of blessings and it's been, productive. But then I really realized, like, those days where I feel like, man, like those days I feel like I'm not doing anything, those are the days that God talks about in the Bible, right? Those days and those times where it's a lot of uncertainty, but that's where peace, I've been learning, shout out to my brother, peace comes from God. I realized that I need to have peace within my circumstances. I need to realize that even in the midst of uncertainty and worriness, that I have the full faith and confidence in God, because he has brought me this far and he has done things for me that of course I appreciate and that I can never duplicate. But a thing I also learn and know is that God delivers. God answers the call. God answers the bell, regardless if it's in my favor and if it's in my best interest that I wanted this stuff to work out, or I have these things that I want to work out, or if it doesn't work out and God gives me another avenue, or God gives me another circumstance or situation. One thing I learned is I have to trust God. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I have to trust God. And that's so difficult. I know how difficult it is. It is so difficult because putting your full trust in an element of time, an element called time, to which we can't slow down, right? We don't have the ability to slow down time. We don't have the ability to speed up time. We just live in the present. But we give all of our cards to God because He's the one that's going to answer for us. He's the one that's going to deliver us. He's the one that's going to get us there. So yes, I completely understand how it may feel to feel like there is an uncertainty. There is nothing. You're always constantly worried about how you're gonna make the next payment on your car, the next monthly payment on your apartment, your crib. You know, how you gonna pay this car note? How you gonna get more money, get more income? How you gonna get a girlfriend or boyfriend? Or how you gonna keep trying to do these things? Well, once I realized, I took a step back, y'all. It's been about a week and a half, maybe a week. I really have taken a step back and have really listened to God, meditated. I've really prioritized myself and my relationship with God, and it has opened my eyes to a lot of things. And when I take a step back, it really has aligned my mind to trust God. I have always trusted God, but you have an up and down battle. Not necessarily with trusting God, but trusting in God's timing. And now, for me, whenever I am going through anything, whether it's money related, relationship related, spiritually, physically, ailments, mentally, I have to trust God. I have to trust that God's gonna work it out. Any tests, y'all, I just took an exam last night. Y'all know about the hour ahead, right? I took an exam at 1 a.m., right? 39 questions. And it took me an hour to complete. So I ended at 2 a.m. Mind you, after I was done with the exam, the hour went over to the next hour. So basically it went from 2 to 3. So in reality, I only had because I had worship service this morning, so I had to wake up at 7, 8. Or I had Bible study this morning, so I woke up at 7 or 8. So because of that, I was tired, I was this and that. And even tonight, I have to do tests. I have to take 2 exams, but I'm working a closing shift as well. So just think about that. It's gonna take, I have a lot of work to do, but I still trusted God to get me through those tests, to get me through working, to get me through everything. If I didn't trust in God, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I promise you. Yeah, sure, you can believe in yourself. But one thing I had to tell myself is that if nothing is too big for God. Nothing is too large for God. God understands the whole situation. And once you realize, just like me, that He's in full control, you'll learn to let go. Let go and let God. I hope you learned something in this video. Hope you take this video, apply it to your life, and join the Discord link in the description. Subscribe to the channel. Pushing the 19K subscribers. We're getting this channel back on the road. And yeah, man. God bless.